What is going on? She's just deleted her Twitter. She's getting called out because it was exposed, because an interview got
After Caitlin Clark fully exposed her actions across the league, the Indiana Fever president was thrown into utter chaos. With each passing hour, the backlash intensified, leaving everyone reeling from the sheer force of the criticism.
I'm not joking when I say this. Something's gone weirdly wrong. Like, we literally hired a freaking Chronically Online.
But this isn't just about a single press conference or a viral clip. The story goes much deeper, far more complex than it appears. And I've got every single detail.
Before, and I will say it again. Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Crosscroft, the Indiana Fever president, they were not ready. Now, Christine Brennan in her book confirmed the WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for and didn't see.
Fans of Caitlin Clark are furious after the Indiana Fever front office made a shocking misstep. Suddenly, the team president publicly criticized a rookie who's been packing arenas and turning the WNBA into must-watch TV. Kelly Krausoff's comment struck a completely off-key tone, leaving Clark's fan base stunned. She likened Clark to Apple, an odd metaphor that felt more like referencing the iPhone case than the iPhone itself. Let's be real. Caitlin is the reason the Fever are relevant. Her talent keeps national cameras rolling and merchandise flying off the shelves. Yet, instead of acknowledging her impact, top executives seem intent on downplaying it. Fans didn't stay quiet. Social media exploded, unleashing blunt, unfiltered criticism. Then, just like that, Krausoff vanished. Her old account disappeared overnight. No explanation, no apology, just gone. It seemed like an attempt to let the storm die down. But for Fever fans and the wider internet, it's already too late. Mistakes like this don't get forgotten.
Stephanie White, every single solitary move that you make is going to be scrutinized. Welcome to...
You know someone's really feeling the heat when they vanish from social media right in the middle of a scandal. And that's exactly what happened with the Fever's president, Kelly. After her now infamous Apple comment went viral and completely blew up in her face, the backlash was instant. The moment the clip spread, Caitlin Clark supporters swarmed like a hive, calling out Krausoff for reducing the very engine of the WNBA's current spotlight to a clumsy brand metaphor. By Friday night, Krausoff's account was wiped clean. Gone. No statement. No apology. No attempt to control the damage. And honestly, that silence hit harder than any PR response ever could. Fans weren't just disappointed. They were livid. Season ticket holders and longtime supporters, people who stuck with the Fever through rough years, felt like the front office had fumbled the very moment they'd waited for. And all this came after weeks of frustration surrounding Clark's treatment on the court. Game after game, refs seemed to overlook obvious contact, allowing players to shove and hack her without consequence. Yet even then, the team president couldn't acknowledge her impact without leaning on a bizarre brand comparison. Clark's fan base saw right through it, and Krausoff's sudden disappearance only confirmed what many suspected. This wasn't just a bad look. It was a full-blown trust crisis created by the front office itself. Next up, Sophie Cunningham. But before we dive in, if you think Caitlin is being targeted on purpose, hit that like button. Drop a comment if these brand analogies are totally out of line. And make sure you're subscribed, because things are only getting more intense from here.
I was a ref. I know I would mess up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
Just go tomorrow. You're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do.
Sophie Cunningham has proudly stepped into the role of Caitlin Clark's unofficial bodyguard. The self-proclaimed vice president of Try That on Our Court and get dropped. And when she speaks, the league listens. On the premiere episode of her podcast, Show Me Something, Sophie went completely off script. Her raw, unfiltered rant was straight out of a Netflix drama. She wasn't just calling out opponents. She aimed at anyone who underestimated Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA. Her words were sharp, blunt, and relentless. You're literally dumb. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The clip instantly went viral across TikTok, YouTube, and X, turning into an unstoppable catchphrase. And make no mistake, Sophie knew exactly the storm she was stirring. But she's not all talk. This is the same Sophie who body-checked a Connecticut Sun player after Clark took an elbow to the face. Ejection? Didn't faze her. I'm going to defend my teammates. Do it, she said. The story doesn't end there. Sophie didn't just call out bad officiating or opponents. She took aim at her own team, the Indiana Fever. She claims that some of the real resentment toward Caitlin Clark comes from inside the locker room. Insiders are calling her podcast a declaration of war. The tension isn't just in the headlines. Fans feel it too. Clashes between established veterans and viral sensations aren't new in the WNBA, but right now, it's boiling over in Indiana. Sophie isn't here to play nice. She's here to shake everything to its core.
Dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that, but the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the number 1 player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. To me, this was not a dirty play. This was making a statement because the referees didn't do their damn job. This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job, not just the first play, every single play leading up to that. If the referees had control of the game, that is their only job. The referees' first job, their number 1 job, is to protect their players.
Like, I get it to a certain extent, and like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But there's just more.
I get it. Rookies often face tough treatment when they enter the league. But with Caitlin Clark, it's different. Let's be blunt. She's being targeted on the court. Elbows, body checks, even at gouges, and the referees stay silent. Imagine if Steph Curry or LeBron James faced that in their first game. There'd be suspensions, breaking news alerts, endless discussion. In the WNBA, the abuse keeps happening, unchecked. Take the May 24th Fever versus Liberty game. Natasha Cloud slammed into Clark, shoulder to shoulder, during a tight matchup. The refs watched and did nothing. Clark raised her palms, silently questioning the call, while the Liberty bench cheered as the buzzer sounded. Sophie Cunningham wasn't holding back either, muttering under her breath, frustrated just like the fans watching. And she's right. This isn't just tough defense. It's targeted disruption. Some rival players quietly accept it, as if the unspoken rule is to make Clark earn it, to try to break her before she becomes too visible. But Clark isn't breaking. She didn't come here to bow to the league's hazing rituals. She steps up when the referees fail to act. And Sophie? She's out there throwing both her weight and her words around like it's a full-time job. This isn't about a few questionable plays. It's a pattern. And honestly, it's starting to feel intentional. If you're still watching, you know this isn't just a basketball story. Don't sit on the sidelines. Stay in the mix. Like, comment, and subscribe, because the next twist could drop at any moment.
We want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. This is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. We have a
behind the scenes in Indiana. Tensions aren't just high, they're explosive. This isn't about image or showmanship anymore. On one side, the business executives are pushing to turn the Fever into a sleek, polished brand aiming for an Apple-level reputation. On the other, athletes, fans, and even rival coaches see the reality. Right now, the brand is Caitlin Clark, and that's where the friction begins. Trouble erupted when Fever president Kelly Krausoff tried to downplay Clark's influence. Sophie Cunningham didn't just disagree. She went off, even clashing with her own management team. This wasn't a spontaneous outburst caught in an interview. Insiders say the podcast rant was a calculated, premeditated strike in response to the president's comments. Sophie didn't just criticize the WNBA. She publicly called out her own front office and backed it up with facts. This wasn't frustration. This was rebellion. And in doing so, she exposed a deep identity crisis within the franchise. The Fever have a superstar at the center of their team, yet they cling to outdated notions of control instead of building a dynasty around her. Some see Clark as a future. Others hold on tightly to authority from the past. Sophie sees it clearly, and she isn't alone. Krossoff's sudden disappearance and erased social media only highlight the chaos. The Fever's internal struggle isn't subtle. It's a battle over identity, power, and the very future of the franchise.